And Young Buzz, welcome back to the channel, where we don't just report K-pop, we live it, breathe it, and obsess over every detail. And today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating glow-ups in K-pop history, the visual evolution of TWICE. From their colorful rookie days to the high-fashion queens we see today, TWICE has been the blueprint when it comes to reinventing visuals every era. And let me tell you right now, this isn't just a video about makeup and hair colors. Oh no. This is about identity, about confidence, about maturity. Because TWICE didn't just get older, they grew, and they glowed, and they've been serving different eras so flawlessly that it's almost unfair to the rest of the industry. So let's rewind the clock a bit. Do you guys remember 2015 when TWICE debuted with Like OOH-AHH? I still remember watching that MV for the first time and being completely floored. It was bold, it was red. Literally. The red lipstick, red outfits, even the dyed streaks in Jihyo and Mina's hair, everything screamed, "We're here and you better pay attention." And it worked. That debut was loud in the best way. Their whole vibe was playful but powerful. It wasn't cutesy in a fragile way, it was confident. And honestly, that color pop aesthetic they introduced, it became a blueprint for other girl groups that followed. TWICE knew how to balance hip-hop inspired beats, R&B softness, and rock energy, and somehow reflect all that in their styling. Who else was doing that in 2015? I'll wait. Now fast forward to 2016, and suddenly we're getting cinematic TWICE with Cheer Up and TT. And this, to me, was a genius move. Because rather than locking themselves into one visual identity, they started exploring characters. Remember Sana as Sailor Moon? Tzuyu channeling Audrey Hepburn? Mina as Itsuki from Love Letter? I mean, come on. They didn't just wear costumes, they embodied those personas. And the makeup changed too. We saw bubblegum pink lips, space buns, cat-eye eyeliner, and dramatic Halloween-inspired styling in TT. It wasn't about matching anymore, it was about expressing. Each member was given a lane and they ran with it. It was one of the first times we started seeing TWICE not just as a group, but as individuals with their own aesthetic flavor. Then came 2017. And this is where I feel like TWICE started embracing nostalgia. Signal, Likey, Heartshaker, all brought back that youthful innocence, but through a retro lens. We got 40s victory rolls, 50s tight curls, 80s hair clips, and pastel everything. The see-through bangs trend? TWICE made it cool again. And don't even get me started on the glitter. TWICE basically walked into a time machine and turned every aesthetic into K-pop gold. And you know what I noticed? Even though they were playing with eras, the cohesion stayed tight. Like, Momo's space buns and Nayeon's radiant skin in Heartshaker still felt like they belonged in the same universe. There was a sense of visual storytelling, and it never felt forced. Then boom. 2018 hit and What Is Love happened. And oh boy, that cherry blush look? Iconic. Nayeon wearing literal hearts on her cheeks, Momo's black bob with blue tips, Chaeyoung with honey blonde balayage. It was like a beauty editor's dream. And they made it look effortless. That era really felt like TWICE was saying, we can be dreamy, romantic, and still serve. Then they dropped Dance the Night Away, and suddenly it was all about natural beauty. Beachy waves, glowing skin, tropical colors. But just when you thought they were going full sun-kissed fairy, they hit us with Yes or Yes, and bam! Purple ombre hair, sporty chic outfits, and bold red lips. It was sweet meets sassy, and I ate up every second of it. And let me know if you felt this too. But around this time, TWICE's confidence started to feel different. More grown, more aware. Like they were stepping into their womanhood, not just performing it. Their looks started reflecting a maturity that was building under the surface. You could feel it in their expressions, in the way they owned their styles. But it wasn't until 2019 that they made it crystal clear. TWICE was growing up, and they weren't afraid to show it. And y'all already know which era I'm talking about. Fancy. Yes, that era deserves its own museum wing. Elegant satin mesh outfits, glowing skin with highlighter that could blind the haters, bold colored eyeliner. It was a masterclass in K-pop glam. This wasn't just makeup and hair, it was an attitude shift. TWICE wasn't cute anymore. They were chic. And you know what stood out to me most? Their eyes. No, seriously. Their eye makeup got bolder, more expressive. You could tell they were performing not just for the camera, but for themselves. They weren't just idols, they were artists. And then came Feel Special. I don't know about you, but this era just hit different, like emotionally and visually. The title track already had this warm, vulnerable energy, but the styling? Oh my gosh. It was the definition of refined elegance. We're talking pastel-toned hair, soft glow makeup, satin finishes, mesh textures. It felt like we were watching a coming-of-age movie, and the lead characters were stepping into their power. It wasn't flashy for the sake of it, it was intentional. And that's the moment I realized Twice isn't just evolving, they're owning their evolution. And then 2020 happened, and you guys, Twice just snapped. First with More and More. The visuals here were wild. Chaeyoung with blue dip tips, Jihyo with cotton candy pink, Sana going full neon orange, and Dahyun with silver purple waves. They basically said, we're gonna give each of you a whole new hair color and you're gonna deal with it. But it wasn't chaotic, it worked. Because what they were really doing was stepping into individual identity. For the first time, we were seeing Twice, not just as a group of 9 synchronized girls, but as 9 distinct women with their own styles and stories. That's huge, especially in K-pop, where uniformity often dominates. Twice was breaking that mold. And then came I Can't Stop Me and Eyes Wide Open, and it was like, Twice leveled up again. This time it was pure retro glam. Think 80s synth pop, big eyeliner, sharper contouring, sleek silhouettes. This was Twice in boss mode. Jihyo's cherry red waves, Chaeyoung's platinum bob. The styling was so confident, so sharp, and so fashion forward. I honestly started seeing them less as a girl group and more as icons. Like the kind of icons that influence not just K-pop, but fashion, editorial spreads, and global beauty trends. But here's where it gets really interesting. Around this time, Twice started talking about how they'd finally gained more control over their looks. And that might sound small, but it's huge. Because in their early days, like many idols, they didn't get to decide what their hair looked like. Management called the shots. They'd often get assigned a concept and a color, and that was it. But now, they choose their own hairstyles, their own makeup directions. They sit in the stylist chair and collaborate, not just receive instructions. Tzuyu mentioned how she only had dark hair for years because it was mandated. Now she gets to explore lighter tones, and it shows. She looks so much more herself. There's a confidence in her presence now that's really beautiful to watch. And then there's Mina, who literally said she's a style chameleon. I love that for her. One day, she's all elegance and soft grace, and the next she's giving chic city girl with edgy accessories. And let's talk about Chaeyoung for a second, because wow, she's probably the boldest when it comes to self-expression. Vintage fashion, daring haircuts, statement makeup, she lives in creative energy. And it's not just styling, it's identity. Even Nayeon, who was once always the clean-cut visual of the group, has started playing with bolder bad girl concepts. Her solo debut Pop was cute, yes, but it had sass. That cheeky wink, the glossy eyes, the drama lashes, it was Nayeon, but unleashed. You could tell she had a hand in crafting her own vibe. And then there's Tzuyu again. Okay, pause. Can we talk about how her face has evolved? A lot of people noticed subtle changes over the years, especially around 2018 to 2019. She had braces during that period, and her face shape matured naturally. Some people speculated about her features shifting, but honestly, that's called growing up. Puberty plus dental work equals glow up. It's natural, it's human, and in Tsuyu's case, it's regal. She went from adorable maknae to literal goddess and didn't miss a beat. And let's not forget where they're at now. Since 2021, we've seen Twice go global, like really global. English singles like The Feels, Scientist, Talk That Talk. They've combined their matured visuals with international styling. They're not just serving looks, they're serving global appeal. Clean, confident, editorial-level visuals. Plus, their brand deals are another level. Nayeon is out here as the muse of Givenchy Beauty, modeling for Tommy Jeans, and repping Biotherm Korea. Like, that's not just idol activity, that's full-on fashion influencer status. The lines between pop star, model, and icon are blurring, and Twice is right at the center of it. So what does all of this tell us? That Twice didn't just evolve, they transformed. And not just because of stylists or trends, because they worked for it. They earned the creative freedom to become the artists and women they are now. And we got to witness that whole journey in real time. From red lip rookie girls in Like OOH-AHH to confident, international style icons commanding global stages. It's been nearly a decade of watching them shine brighter and bolder every year. And honestly, I don't think they're done evolving yet. But now it's your turn. What's your favorite Twice visual era? Was it their early bright red days, the retro glam of Fancy, the dreamy warmth of Feel Special, or this newer, shicer version of Twice we see today? And whose style evolution impressed you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I always read them. And if you're new to Chaeyoung Buzz, hit that subscribe button because we break down K-pop not just for what it is, but for what it means. Until next time, stay stylish, stay bold, and remember, visuals fade, but impact lasts forever. Chaeyoung.